How we doing? First, it's good to see everybody here. Put this on here and hopefully I don't spill it. I want to welcome everybody. Welcome everybody who's here today. This is a very important conference. We have this once a year. And I think it's important for us to have a discussion, and that's what I want to do, is have a discussion and talk through this with key 2- and 3-star leaders. Just not commanders, but leaders. We all have a responsibility as leaders. Might not have commander after your name, but because of who you are, what you do, we have to set the tone. All our civilian leaders as well, to make sure we're doing what's right. So, because of many factors, I believe we have, if you've heard me say in the public, we have a huge issue. And the main thing I want everybody to understand is that this is not just a passing issue. For whatever reason, this is one that we've had for a very long time, and we have not been able to defeat it. I use that term because that's the term we're all familiar with. We have not been successful in solving this problem. And the issue becomes, as women take on a greater role in the Army, it becomes even more important that we ensure that they have the environment that they can excel in. This is about creating a climate where everyone can excel. And I realize that there are men get sexually assaulted too. And I realize it's about creating an environment where we do not tolerate sexual assault. But I will tell you, from the things I see, we still have people out there who tolerate sexual assault and sexual harassment. And until we solve that problem, it's going to get worse. So I bet you if I go around to everyone in here, you're going to tell me, I got it, no problem. I understand the importance. But lately, Sergeant Major and myself, we've been out to some units. And although we get it at this level, as I get further and further down, we're still not there yet. Because the answer is, I don't have a problem here. There's no problem in my platoon. There's no problem in my company. There's no problem in my battalion. That's baloney. That's the problem. We're not seeing ourselves. I'm in an all-male unit. I don't have a problem. No, that's not right. In fact, you probably have some perpetrators. Probably have some predators. And you probably have some males who have probably been sexually assaulted or sexually harassed. So this isn't about, I don't have a problem because I don't have females in my unit. This is about getting down to sergeants, staff sergeants, sergeant first class, master sergeants, lieutenants, captains, majors, lieutenant colonels, where they take this on seriously. Because we are not doing that today. The way I want us to do it. You know, I was talking to the vice earlier, we were talking about, you know, we have an IED. Every soldier knows what to do. They have a battle drill. They know how to react to it. And then once we started figuring out, we started getting IEDs in war, then we started going to the left of the IED. And we did all this analysis to figure out how we can stop it from exploding so it doesn't kill or maim our soldiers. Well, guess what? Sexual harassment, sexual assault is maiming our soldiers. We got to have the same thought. Every soldier needs to understand what their role is. What is their battle drill to prevent this? What do they do to the left of the incident? What do they do when the incident occurs? And then what do you do after the incident occurs? When we put it in military terms, we have no problem. We can deal with it. That's something we understand. But we have to understand better what it is here. And we have to do the same type of thing. So I want to go over, there's 5 imperatives that I've put out. I want to make sure everybody understands this. One first is protect victims and prevent offenders, provide care, provide rights, and privacy of survivors. That's number one. Number two, professionally investigate and take appropriate action. Number three, create an appropriate positive command climate where trust and respect are the cornerstone of what that command climate is about. That all our soldiers trust that actions will be taken appropriately by the chain of command. That we have an attitude of respect for each other who wear this uniform. That's who we are. That's who we're supposed to be. Respect each other. We need trust. I talk about this all the time. It's critical to everything we do. The things we are asked to do require trust. The ultimate trust. The trust that you can believe in anybody who wears this uniform. Because you got to be there to save each other's lives under very chaotic conditions. But if we can't solve this problem, would you trust this uniform? If you think you can be retaliated on if you make a complaint? If you don't think the chain of command will react properly, they'll say, well, it's just he said, she said, so forget it. That's not trust. That's not trust. So that's what we got to work on. Fourth, we got to hold individuals, units, and commanders and leaders accountable. And the fifth imperative is a chain of command fully engaged, responsible for everything in their unit and accountable for what goes on inside of that unit. And the one thing I think we all have to think about is how do we see ourselves? What are the systems that we have in place that allows us, when I mean by see ourselves, I mean see our units, see our directorates, see our formation, see our organization, whatever it might be. How do we see ourselves? There's lots of ways to do it. Command climate surveys. I've dictated command climate surveys. 3 months after you take command, 6 months after you take care, then every 12 months after that. That's one way. Sensing sessions. Talking to people, walking around. You have to figure out what the best way for you is, but you better have a system in place to see yourself. It's just not about sexual assault, sexuality. It should be about everything, but I'm focused on sexual assault, sexual harassment right now. How do you see yourselves? Because I think in a lot of cases, and I think probably as I look back, when I was a battalion or Divardi commander, I bet you I thought I had good programs, but I bet you I probably didn't see myself. You got to make sure you see yourself. You can't just base it on statistics, or you can't just base it on what you're getting from the chain of command all the time. You got to go outside the chain of command. You know, when I was the commander in Iraq, I believed in the chain of command, but I also went out and saw for my own eyes. Every day. Every day I went out to go see what was going on. Get feedback from the chain of command, but also make my own assessments. Talking to everybody I could so I could make the right decisions. This is no different. This is no different. So I ask everyone to make sure you have a system to do that. This is ultimately about leadership. It's no different than any other problem. It requires leadership. It requires setting the tone. We set the tone. You know that. When a commander or a director or the leader of an organization comes in, that organization reflects them. And if you're doing the right thing, they will do the right thing. If you hold people accountable for making sure they understand how important this is, they'll get it. If you don't, they won't. They'll realize it's not important to you. I'm going to be here the whole 2 days of this conference. Why is that? Because this is important to me. This is important to me. I want to make sure everybody understands that. And as I go around, we're going to have discussions about this as I travel around the Army, because it's important to me. I sent a message that says it's my number one priority right now. And I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. This is about the health and welfare of our sons and daughters, the sons and daughters of America's citizens. I'll bet you, how many people have sons or daughters serving right now? So you should understand that. You should understand that. Don't you want an organization that's going to take care of your son and daughter when we turn them over to that organization or command. That's up to us. Make sure we do that. It's up to us to make sure we do that. I want them to be proud of sending their sons and daughters in the Army. That's what it should be. It's a great opportunity. We all know what the Army gives to people. It gives people of all races, colors, religions, financial backgrounds, whatever, the opportunity to succeed. We all know it. It's up to us to make sure they understand that and that we sustain that. If we don't get after this, we're going to start having some problems. So I ask everybody to make sure you understand that.